Welcome guys to the numerical point, and this is our ongoing lecture series on fluid mechanics, and we are first discussing on fluid properties, and this is our fourth video on fluid properties, and today we will discuss about the theory of the surface tension. Let's get started. So guys, surface tension, okay, as the name indicates itself, surface, okay, and tension. So as the name indicates, so we can generally say it is a surface phenomena. Okay, you can find surface tension only at the surface, not in the bulk of the liquid. Okay, what is tension? We'll see later on. Okay, first is the definition of surface tension. Surface tension is a property by virtue of which a liquid surface acts like an elastic membrane. Okay, what is membrane? Membrane is like a net. Okay, so this is a membrane. Okay, anything that is like a surface, okay, that is like a net. And what is elastic? That it will have some elastic deformation. Okay, it will not undergo any permanent deformation. It can resist some amount of load. Okay, for suppose this is an liquid surface. Okay, this is a liquid surface. If you will put a small weight on it, okay, very small weight, okay, very small, okay, for the weight of like an ant or a bee or a needle or a razor blade, anything very small weight. Okay, if we'll put an weight on that surface, then it will not deep inside the liquid. It will float on the surface, not by any buoyancy or any other effects, but the surface itself, the surface will act like a membrane. Okay, the surface will stretch down and it will hold that weight. Okay, so this is surface tension. For example, if you want to get the real feel of the surface tension, you just take a blade and put that on the water. Okay, it will float. Okay, this is due to, not due to the buoyancy or any other effect. This is due to the surface tension. Okay, this is a physical feel. Now let us understand it microscopically, that why this phenomena occurs and from where this all those things come from. Okay, let's start. So guys, this is a container. Okay, this is a container and it contains some liquid. Okay, this is the liquid, and this is the liquid, and this is air. Okay, air is at the above, and if we'll see microscopically observe it, then let's observe two molecules. Okay, one is this and other is this. Okay, there are two types of molecule. One is in the bulk of the liquid and the second is at the surface of the liquid. So let's understand the forces that acts on that liquid. Okay, liquid molecule. So we know about the cohesive forces. I have told in the second video itself, or the cohesive forces. Okay, so for this liquid which is in the bulk, the cohesive forces will act in all the directions. Okay, in all the direction, and it will act towards outwards. Okay, so this is in equilibrium. Okay, this is in equilibrium, as the cohesive forces are same and it acts in all the direction. So but if we look into this liquid, then what happens? The forces that acts on it are two types in nature. One is cohesive forces that acts the below part of the liquid, and other is adhesive forces due to air that acts in the upper part of the liquid. So what happens? The cohesive force due to the liquids are higher in magnitude, greater in magnitude as compared to the adhesive forces due to air. So what happens? There is a net unbalanced force that acts in the downward direction. Okay, there is a net unbalanced force that acts in the downward direction. So the liquid layer, the upper layer of the liquid is already under tension. Okay, due to this, unbalanced forces. So this phenomena is called surface tension. Okay, so it is already under some load that is acting downwards. So when you will put another load at the top, it will not what if the value of the weight is not so high, then this unbalanced force will try to manage to hold that load. Okay, so this phenomena is called surface tension only. Okay, now look at the formula for the surface tension force and how it acts, and what is the direction, and what are the things that depends on the surface tension force. Okay, let's start. So if you'll see the formula for surface tension, that this is the surface tension and this is denoted by sigma. Okay, this is sigma is equal to F by L. F is called surface tension force and L is the perimeter. Okay, and L is the perimeter, and why we take perimeter? Because the surface tension force acts in the perimeter of the liquid, it doesn't act at the surface. Okay, so I am showing an example here. Let's suppose this is a needle and it has been put on the surface of the liquid. Okay, let's suppose this is the liquid surface and this is the needle. Okay, now let's see how the surface tension force acts. Okay, so this is the direction of the surface tension force. Okay, this acts, okay, mind my language, this acts perpendicular to the body. Okay, perpendicular to the body and parallel, oh sorry, not parallel, in the plane of the surface. Okay, in the plane of the surface but perpendicular to the body. Okay, and this is a length phenomena. Okay, so this is the shape of a needle and the width of the needle is negligible, so we can write 2L. Okay, one is this side and other is this side. Okay, one is this side and other is this side, we can write 2L. And if we will take a square section, okay, let's suppose rectangle. Okay, this is a rectangle, then the surface tension will act like this. Okay, so we need to just okay, this is the surface tension force direction, and to find the value of the surface tension force, we can say just F is equal to the surface tension sigma into 2L plus 2B. Okay, 2L plus 2B. Okay, because it is acts in the length. Okay, so we just need to total length where the surface tension acts into the surface tension value. So this is the formula for surface tension, and this is the surface tension force. Now let's see what are the main key points or the properties and what are the things that surface tension possess. Okay, key points in the surface tension. So guys, the first thing is the surface tension decreases when temperature increases. So surface tension depends on the temperature. As you go higher temperature, the value of the surface tension, that is sigma, decreases and the force also decreases. Okay, the second point I have already said, surface tension force acts perpendicular to the body in the plane of the liquid membrane. Okay, and the third question, statement, that at critical point surface tension becomes zero. As I have said, surface tension decreases when temperature increases. So some value for some temperature, the surface tension will tend to zero or become zero. So that temperature is the critical point temperature. Okay, what is the critical point temperature? As you all know, this is the vapor dome, this is the liquid dust line, this is the solid dust line, then this is the critical point temperature. So at the critical point temperature, the value of the surface tension becomes 0. This could be an objective question. So the fourth point is very important. It is a binary property and depends on both the property, depends on both the interface. Okay, so the surface tension value for air and water is defined. Okay, surface tension never defined for a single liquid. Okay, it depends on both the interface, okay, whether it is air or any other gas. So the value of surface tension will also change, and similarly if you will change the liquid, then also the surface tension value changes. So it depends both the interface, both the side of the interface. Okay, interface is single. And the fifth point is very interesting, the spherical droplet. Okay, spherical droplet formation due to surface tension. What happens actually when you will put power some water? Okay, when you will power some water, then what happens, the water tries to acquire the minimum surface area. Okay, minimum surface area, and this is due to the surface tension force. Okay, due to the surface tension force, water tries to attain the minimum surface area, and the minimum surface area is achieved by sphere. So water tries to get the shape of the sphere in order to achieve the minimum surface area, which is caused by the property of surface tension. So now guys, let's see the Young's Laplace equation. Okay, the Young's Laplace equation is given to find the pressure discontinuity across a curved surface. Okay, for suppose this is a curved surface, and here inside the surface there will be a pressure, and outside the surface there will be another pressure. Okay, so to find out the difference in the pressure inside and outside, we have derived the Young's Laplace equation. So derivation is not so important, we need to just remember the final formula. Okay, so this is the Young's Laplace equation that is given here. Okay, so Pi, that is inside pressure, Pi is equal to Po plus K sigma in the bracket 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2. Okay, the let's suppose the inside radius is r1 and the outside radius is r2. Okay, there is two surface like here. Okay, one is the inside surface and other is the outside surface. Okay, so there will be two radius, so r1 is the inside radius and r2 will be the outside radius. So Pi is equal to Po plus K sigma 1 by r1 plus 1 by r2. This is the Young's Laplace equation. Now let's see what are the terms here. Pi is inside pressure, Po is outside pressure. K value will depend on number of interface. Okay, so I will discuss it later. Sigma is the surface tension, and r1 is in inner radius and r2 is outer radius. So what is K? Okay, so K value is, for suppose we will take a bubble. Okay, for a bubble is what is outside is air. So for suppose this is water bubble. Okay, water bubble, and outside is air, inside is air, and this is the what? This is the water. Okay, so there will be two interface, one is this and other is this. Okay, so as there will be two interface, the value of K will be 2. If we will suppose the water droplet. Okay, water droplet means inside is water, water droplet, inside is water and outside is air. So there will be only one single surface. Okay, so the value of K will be what? 1. Okay, this is all about Young's Laplace equation. Now let's apply this Young's Laplace equation and simplify the results, and for different cases we'll just find out the Pi minus Po value and we'll remember that. Okay, so guys, this is the application of Young's Laplace equation. For suppose this is a droplet. Okay, this is a droplet, so inside is liquid and outside is air. So by putting the value of K is equal to 1, and the R1 is equal to R2 is equal to R. Okay, and it will be D by 2. Okay, by putting all this value, what is the final result? That is Pi minus P naught is equal to 4 sigma by D. Just remember, for droplet, the inside pressure is Pi, Po, and the value of inside minus outside pressure will be 4 sigma by D. Okay, in case of bubble, okay, in case of bubble, same R1. Here you can find two types of radius. Okay, but the thickness of bubble is very low, so we can consider again R1 equal to R2 is equal to R and equal to D by 2. And but here the value of K will be 2. Okay, the value of K will be 2. In this case, the value of K will be 1, cause there is only one interface, that is liquid and droplet air. Okay, liquid air, there will be only one interface, but here there will be two interfaces. One is air and liquid, and other is liquid and air. So the value of K will be 2. By putting all this, we will get Pi minus P naught equal to 8 sigma by D. You just need to remember, for bubble, Pi minus Po, that is inside pressure minus outside pressure, is 8 sigma by D. Okay, now let's see the third case. For third case, we have a liquid jet. Okay, so this is our liquid jet. Okay, here one radius will be infinite. Okay, one radius will be infinite and other radius will be R. Okay, this is one is R and other radius will be infinite. Okay, so R1 equal to infinite, R2 equal to R, and the value of K will be again 1. Okay, so Pi minus P naught will be 2 sigma by D. You just need to remember, for liquid jet, Pi minus P naught is equal to 2 sigma by D. That's all. Now this is an important case, that is air bubble. Okay, for air bubble, what happens? The value of K is here 1. For water bubble, we have seen. Okay, for water bubble, we have seen K is equal to 2. Okay, K equal to 2. For air bubble, it will K equal to 1. Why? Because inside is air and outside is water. Only and only one interface. So K equal to 1. R1 equal to R2 is equal to R equal to D by 2. By putting all these values, we can get, for air bubble, Pi minus P naught equal to 4 sigma by D. That's all. Okay, so these are the 4 application of the Young's Laplace equation. Okay, you just need to remember these values. For droplet, 4 sigma by D. For bubble, 8 sigma by D. For liquid jet, it is 2 sigma by D, and for air bubble, it is again 4 sigma by D. Okay, so guys, this is the complete theory of the surface tension. Okay, in the next video we will discuss about the complete numericals. Okay, we will solve about 3 numericals to put all these theories into action. Okay, goodbye.